And as someone who is about to be 30, I don't know the last time I looked at a 16-year-old's relationship and was like, yeah,
that's what I need.
That.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music
Welcome back to the podcast, dear listeners. Welcome for the first time, if you are a first-time listener. This is the podcast where we review and recap movie musicals, and we are diving back to the 60s this week with the 1963 classic based on a Broadway musical, Bye Birdie.
Oh, yeah. Now,
yeah.
I've never seen this. I think in school we did the telephone hour, like, just as a thing, because I have a vivid memory of this one kid I went to high school with doing the, excuse me, Mrs. Johnson is
What's so funny that you say that is I don't think I've ever seen this on the stage. Nah. I'm not sure I've seen it in film, but like it's been in the collective consciousness for a long enough time that I recognized some costumes and stuff. But I know the telephone hour song because it was on some like Broadway Greatest Hits CD or something. And because I knew no context, I wasn't sure if that, like, excuse me, Mrs. Houston, is anybody there to answer? I didn't know if that was a main character or not. I didn't know who that guy was going to be. And so when I watched it, I was like, okay, good.
Honestly, it's like Marie the Baguette's Hurry Up of this movie, where it's not important, it's not a main character, but it's iconic.
That poor kid's just trying to get a date to prom.
Oh, he's trying so hard.
That's all I know about. That's truly the only thing I knew going into this film. I was very shaky sweaters on the premise. Definitely followed along on Wikipedia and checked in a couple times where I was like, where is this going?
How is this gonna resolve? And it not, I mean, it's
it does in a way I didn't expect, which was an interesting experience, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We talk about a 180. This is rated G.
Yeah.
What was the last film we did
that
was rated G?
Honestly, unclear.
And like we're talking green screen, like green rated G screen. Also, did you get a blue FBI piracy warning? Because I
didn't.
I did. The like, you wouldn't download a car.
It's like, I absolutely would. Thank you.
I absolutely would. Sorry. I got one of those and I was like, wow. That brought me back to VHS days at
yes,
Blockbuster.
Be kind, rewind.
Okay. All right. We start off with a bunch of newspapers, and the headlines read, Conrad
We
Birdie.
start off
I'm
with the
yelling
girl
already.
singing the opening song.
Yeah.
Margaret.
I thought but the newspapers like behind her are talking about how Conrad Birdie's been drafted.
I thought it started with just
first.
her in blue screen singing the
Listen, they
Bye
happen
Birdie.
around the same time.
And by singing,
it's weird.
I mean yelling on pitch.
Oh. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it has to be.
Because it's very breathy. So it doesn't feel like yelling. It just feels like very stylized singing.
And there's no vibrato. It's very nasally. Bye, bye, birdie. It's like, God.
But she takes these really big gasps of air in between. And I have to think, my fun fact is about that sequence. But it does not mesh with really much of the singing styles in the rest of the musical, and it is a true blue musical.
Yes, it is.
But so I have to assume that was inspired by music of the time as a way to like rope in these not musical people to this film. It is Anne Margaret.
Yes. Which we saw her in State Fair.
But in behind this young, very sweet girl next door, Anne Margaret character, we see newspaper headlines that say Conrad Birdie drafted and iterations of this, and we assess that Conrad Birdie is this Elvis-esque teen heartthrob guy that has been drafted into the army because this takes place in the 50s.
No, wouldn't this be?
I don't know. Going off of the dress styles.
Hold on. Hold, please.
Please hold.
1957. You were right.
I was right?
No, 1958. You're still right.
I was still right. Oh, vindication.
Ugh. Yes, 1958.
Yeah, so we have our conflict in a way that Elvis was just a phenomenon. The Beatles were a phenomenon. Harry Styles is a phenomenon. Like, imagine if Harry Styles got drafted.
Listen,
Like,
wild. Yeah.
Grace would come back from New Zealand to fight the government
Well, I would do that anyway.
of America.
I don't need Harry Styles for that.
But what a great instigator. But
Truly.
that's our
Okay.
conflict.
Yes.
Birdie, Bye Bye Birdie. That's what the song is about. That he's leaving, and they're all of America.
And there's
all
like
of teenage Americana is
protests
heartbroken.
and like marches. It's so silly.
These little privileged suburban white girls are picketing the capital of the
White
United
House.
States because the U.S. Army drafted Conrad Birdie.
Insane.
They went to Washington.
They went to Washington. We then cut to one of our main characters, who is Albert Peterson. So Albert Peterson, played by Dick Van Dyke, he is a songwriter who used to be a biochemist, but his mother was like, ah, yes, that bad field of biochemistry. You know what you should do instead is go into the super safe field of songwriting. So she
And show
bullied
business.
him into becoming a
Out
songwriter.
of his biochemistry. And he's not a successful songwriter. He's been doing this for 6 years, and he's
Never
never
sold
sold a song until today, ladies and gentlemen. He has
Of
written a
course.
song. No, wait. He hasn't written it yet.
Yeah.
Has he?
No. So he's trying, he's actually about to shut down his songwriting business because he's like, I can't. Business. I haven't made any money. It's been 6 years. This is just a sink. And so he's going to shut it down, but he's also looking for his secretary / girlfriend, Rosie.
Yes. So for the record, this scene is taking place in his office in New York City.
Yes.
But we definitely get the sense that Albert, played by Dick Van Dyke, is such a mama's boy.
Oh, yeah.
And would never stand up to anything his mother says or does.
No.
We learn that Rosie, who is Albert's secretary, has not shown up to work. It turns out she's actually gone like downtown to like the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
And it is implied that Rosie and Albert are practically engaged. They have been romantically linked for a long time.
6
Albert
years.
just has not gotten the balls to propose to her, and because it's the 50s,
He has to talk to his mother first, and he
Yeah,
hasn't
and
even told his mom that they're dating, which pisses Rosie off, obviously.
Yeah,
Now,
understandably.
yes, absolutely. So,
Cut to the Ed Sullivan Show.
cut to the Ed Sullivan Show. Ed Sullivan, the guy, plays
himself.
himself. So, Rosie is down there, and she comes to Ed Sullivan with this idea. She's like, okay, Conrad Birdie has been drafted. So, what we need to do is have him have a goodbye performance on your show in which he kisses all of his fans goodbye symbolically by kissing one teen girl on live thing. We'll choose a random fan from like Middle America, Ohio, and he will have this moment, do this kiss, and then he will sing the song One Last Kiss, written by my boyfriend. And she was like, I came to you with this idea, and the only payment that I'm asking for is that you do this song that my boyfriend has not written yet. And they're like, this is a brilliant idea. Absolutely would love to do this. Go get a girl from like Central Casting or whatever, or like fan mail base.
It's the for whatever reason, the Conrad Birdie fan club headquarters is in the same building as the Ed Sullivan Show.
So stupid.
So after they have this conversation and Rosie gets Ed Sullivan to agree to this, she goes downstairs to
The Conrad Birdie fan club.
and goes through like the Rolodex, picks a random card from Ohio,
Yeah.
and calls the number on the phone. I don't know if this is a thing anymore, but it's like you would, I don't know, pay a one-time fee and become an official member of this fan club. And they had your contact information on file.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was because they got like magazines about
Or
Conrad
like
Birdie or
updates.
something. Unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so she's able to get the contact information for all of his fans.
Yeah.
And she picks one random girl. Her name is Kim McAfee.
Yep.
She lives in Sweet Apple, Ohio.
Of course.
Talk about an Americana name, of course. And she calls Kim McAfee. And the line is busy.
No, can't get through. So.
And it's because we cut to Ohio and Kim is on the phone. Sweet 16-year-old teenage Kim is on the phone with her best friend Ursula, just gabbing on the phone because Kim has big news. Kim's going steady now with this kid Hugo from high school, and she got pinned.
Yes.
Which means Hugo gave her
his varsity
pin,
his
varsity pin or his like Letterman pin, and so she's wearing it on her sweater, and that symbolizes that they're together and they're gonna get married.
And ever. And I'm just like, what?
Ma'am, you are 16.
You were 16 years old.
I do want to say, sorry, I meant to say this at the beginning, and we talked a little about this. This is a campy film.
Yes.
And I was a little unclear of that until really, honestly, the film started. But in the same way that you would never watch Hairspray and be like, this is not realistic. You just got to suspend your disbelief.
Whole suspension.
For these.
And while the movie, I think, is aware of the jokes, I don't think that the characters are aware of the jokes. So they have a whole conversation about getting pinned, which is like... So
Kim,
anyway.
Kim doesn't answer the phone because she's on the phone already with Ursula.
Yeah.
And this takes us into the telephone song.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry. Really, really quickly. She got pinned by Hugo. They're talking about it. And then Kim's mother comes in. And she's like, get off the phone. I have shit to, like, I have to do things.
Do calls, yeah.
Yeah, so Kim has to get off the phone, but she tasks Ursula with
telling
spreading the
everyone.
news. So that takes us into the telephone song
Yes.
with Ursula kicking us off.
Yes. This is a wild song. First off, everyone is yelling on pitch. There are no harmonies.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's also just in a bad key for
Everyone. It's not a comfortable key for literally anyone. And it's just all of these high schoolers finding out that Kim and Hugo are going steady. And it is catchy. It's in my brain. It's just not a good song.
It's an earworm.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is I watched this with subtitles, as you do.
Of course.
Again, this is the only real song I know from Bye Birdie. I read so many lyrics for the first time. I just had no idea what they were saying, and I just accepted it as nonsense.
Absolutely. Anyway, so everyone hears everything. It's a big old dance number. And then at the end, everyone melts?
They have this, like, superimposed cool effect for 63 where they have everyone doing very, very quick stylized, like, punching the air dance things, and we have probably 20 people cut out and glued onto a background. They're all moving and dancing, and at the end of the song they're like, we don't know a good way to fade out of this. Make everyone melt.
Everyone just melts.
I do have a moment of joy in this film.
Tell me.
Or in this song, and it's a bit of a waiter, which is in this song. Oh God, there's so many group scenes of there's everyone at the soda fountain and then everyone spreading the news at like the gymnasium, and there's one shot of a single telephone operator inside the operating booth, and you see and you gotta plug the wires.
Yeah.
That's what telephones were like, and they're all lighting up, and clearly everyone in fucking Ohio is on this one telephone like grid, and this woman is so
overwhelmed. She's just like, fuck.
Yeah, she gives a really big stylized, like, hands on the side of her head, just like,
Oh, that's so funny. All right. So we cut
to New York City.
Back to New York. Dick Van Dyke, Albert, is shutting down everything, and there's this pigeon that he has befriended. And so he, like, is halfway crawling out of this window to feed this pigeon. And Rosie comes in.
It's like his last goodbye.
To this pigeon. Rosie comes in, thinks he's gonna jump, and, like, grabs him, which of course startles him and makes him actually almost fall. But so she pulls him back in, and they have a bit of an argument in which Dick Van Dyke is an asshole.
Yeah.
And doesn't listen. Now, there's a lot of just, like, patriarching all over people in this movie. From like almost every man in this, there is at least one moment in which they're just like, I am the man and therefore. And so this is a moment with Dick Van Dyke doing this, where he has assumed that because Rosie didn't show up to work and he heard that she was going to talk to Ed Sullivan, that she was looking for a new job. And so he keeps talking over her and doesn't let her explain that she just fucking saved him at his business and made him a lot of money. He keeps talking over and saying, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just after all of these years, you've gone and left me. And she like keeps trying to talk to him. But he just, like, fucking steamrolls over her and tries to guilt trip her.
It is ultimately revealed what Rosie has done.
Yeah.
Rosie has saved the day.
Of course.
He just has to write the song.
Right.
Like, he has one job. He has to write this song, One Last Kiss.
Yes. Then we meet.
Then enter Mama.
Oh, boy.
Mama May Robertson? What's their last name?
Something like that.
Peterson.
Peterson.
Oh, my God.
Mama is a classic,
A lot.
manipulative, over-the-top mother of an era where it was just like, oh
Like
no,
a helicopter parent.
helicopter parent, where she was just like, oh no, it's fine that you didn't send a cab for me. I took the subway because we mothers don't need much air, and like, you know,
the bumpy seats are good enough for an old woman
mother
like me. But then she also says, like, oh, I want nice things for my son,
Yeah.
my star.
Baby
She
boy.
also calls him, like, a growing boy. I'm like, man, he is 30, like,
38,
late 30s.
like-
Yeah. Helicopter parent.
Yeah, she comes in and like walks over everything, and right before
Like,
this,
disregards Rosie entirely.
yeah, Albert had been like, Rosie, I'm gonna tell her and we're gonna get married. If this song goes through, we're gonna have a lot of money. This song will sell like 1 million records because it'll be like his goodbye song, Conrad's goodbye song. So if it goes through, we'll make it, and then that way I can set my mother up for life. Then there's nothing holding us back from getting
There's nothing
married.
stopping us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell her so that like we can sort of talk to her about the fact that we are together and have been together. And of course she comes in and he completely loses his nerve, does not tell his mother anything. Rosie is furious, and she's still trying to get through to Kim this whole time on the phone.
Yeah.
We cut back to Sweet Apple and see that Kim is just on the phone to Hugo, and eventually
Her boy.
and eventually they hang up, and we get our next song.
I had forgotten this song was in this film.
Yeah.
And it was not until she got to the chorus where I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk about relating more to the parents in a film.
Oh yeah.
Than the protagonist. The song is How Lovely to Be a Woman.
She's like 15.
She's 16.
16.
She's 16, and she talks about how when you're 15, you don't know anything, you're ugly, and then you turn 16 and suddenly you're a woman and you have a female figure and your skin is smooth and clear, and it can't be, it's satire. I was always just like, that's not accurate.
That's not what my 16-year-old experience was. Well, also what I did like about this is like during this song in which she talks about like, oh, and your figure has come up and you get to wear nice clothes. She's in the process of changing into like a really baggy sweater, jeans.
That is the ugliest
fluffiest
sweater.
Fluffy socks and like a baseball cap. She's like actively like not dressing up at all. I did
Yes.
enjoy that.
I hear that. I couldn't figure out what she was dressing up for or dressing down for. Like, she was getting out of her sweet dress.
I think it was like out of her
fitted
school
dress-
outfit and into like, I'm just at home now.
I'm sorry, do you wear a baseball cap at home?
In my house? No, absolutely not.
No.
I also don't wear jeans
And
when I'm in my house.
jeans?
But if
it's getting very mixed
but if
messages.
I had to wear like 50s dresses at school, I would consider jeans dressing down.
Guess so.
I think it's just an era. Anyway,
It really threw me off.
she
At
goes
this point, I have a
downstairs.
note to myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what timestamp I was at when I wrote this, but I wrote after this song, what could possibly make this film 2 hours?
That's fair.
I also said she was dressing like a Sandlot character.
That is true. So she goes downstairs and she has a whole bit with her parents where she calls her parents by their first names, and she was like, that's what this is to like be an adult.
I'm a grown-up woman now.
Yeah. So finally though, the phone call comes through and Kim's mom gives her the phone, and she is told that Conrad Birdie is going to have a goodbye performance in Sweet Apple, and she has been chosen to be like his goodbye kiss, and she fucking loses
Melts.
her mind.
And turns back into like a giddy little
Teenage
teenage
girl again, which she
and like
is.
falls to the floor and calls her mom. She gets so excited. She's like, Doris, Mom, Mommy.
I know. So she's just like so overwhelmed by this concept, which is fair. I would be equally overwhelmed if this would happen to me.
Kim also has a younger brother who makes his first appearance in this scene, and he's going to come up in a
few
minor
times,
role
yeah.
later. His name's Randolph. He's probably 10.
Yeah. He has a science kit. He likes to like make things that blow up kind of deal.
Yes. Cut
Oh my
to
God.
the next day, they get out of school. We're at school. All the girls get out of school, like the school bell rings or whatever, and the girls are getting ready to welcome Conrad. Conrad's coming later today, or immediately after school, and because they are in the official fan club, they have an official song welcoming him that goes, "We love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do." And then, so all the girls are starting to walk across the school lawn towards like the center of town, wherever this meeting's, like his arrival's going to be. And then we get
all the
boys from the school singing
"We
the
hate you,
opposite of the song.
Conrad.
We hate you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do. We don't hate anyone as much as you. This is West Side Story.
Honestly,
when they meet
I had
in the
the
middle.
same thing. They just meet in the middle and like are singing at each other. It's so great.
It's so funny. A couple West Side Story references in this
There
film,
are,
actually.
yes. Man, that was so funny.
The culmination of these two parties, of the girls and the boys coming together and having a standoff, is Kim is in the center and Hugo is in the center.
Yeah.
And the boys are like, "Yeah, Hugo, tell her what you were going to say." And Hugo does not have a spine.
Sweet pea.
And like pulls Kim aside, like away from the crowd, being like, "The guys are making me talk to you. I don't really care."
But like also, you know, I thought like being pinned meant something, and like I thought that like we were committed, and I don't know if I want you kissing another guy on national TV. And she fully twists She works him so hard. And she twists and turns it and bamboozles him into agreeing to this, because she's just like, no,
she's
this is for the city.
It's not about us. It's bigger than us. I'm doing this for America.
America. Everyone's gonna see Sweet Apple. This is going to boom our economy. Like, she fully goes for it. It's fucking hysterical. And
isn't Hugo's dad the Undertaker?
Yeah, she's like, how many people now are gonna die here?
Are gonna move? They're gonna move to Sweet Apple. It's gonna be great business for your father, because all those people are ultimately gonna die.
Oh, it's so
and
funny.
Hugo's like, okay, yeah, those are all
he's
good
fully
points.
bamboozled.
Yeah.
And so
Kim leads the
Girls.
having won the argument. She leads them downtown, and all the boys look at Hugo like he's a failure.
And he tries to like reiterate her arguments, but they haven't
he's
quite.
like, it's for
Like,
America.
it's it's because of business and economics in which I am allowing her.
Synergy.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and then he just like stumbles through, and all of the guys just like judge him. And so in comes Conrad.
Yes, very briefly. So the procession takes us to what is essentially like the town
square.
hall center of Sweet Apple. We briefly see Rosie meet and subsequently be flirted with by Mr. Paisley, who is the English teacher at the high school. They meet. Albert's mom is also there. Albert is there.
Yeah.
And then Conrad Birdie arrives
On a motorcycle.
via motorcycle
in a full
in gold lame.
Oh, God.
Full gold jumpsuit.
No, but then, okay, so then he gets off of the bike, and, like, we see his face for the first time, and my question is, how old is he?
Oh, boy.
Because they have chosen a 16-year-old child to kiss him, and he looks like he's 30. And I'm like...
He definitely looks like a haggard late 20s.
Yeah. It's like...
Yeah. It's not great, Dan.
No, it's not. So, he comes up and, like, goes to the
I'm
front.
like, why? Why did they cast Why did they? Is he supposed to be super, super old?
I don't know. That was my question. I was
guess,
like, how old was this character supposed to be? Like, because if he was 20, it's not great, but it's less not great. It gets
He's
more
also not supposed
great
to be super
the older he is, and he looks like he is 30 and she is 16.
He looks, and also, I mean, he's not supposed to be redeemable. Is the thing? He's not. We're not ultimately supposed to.
That in the play, the musical, he is accused of statutory rape and run out of town. And they have to hide, they have to dress him as an old woman to get him out of town so he is not arrested.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn, I knew
Found
the differences,
that out today.
but I did not know the rest. Wow.
I was today years old when that was a plot point.
2 years old.
Yikes. So that's not a plot point of this movie.
So that's not a plot point. Yeah, no. He's just... All the girls lay eyes on him and just shriek their it hurts to watch this with headphones because of how loud and repeatedly the girls scream. I would simply you can see my notes. The girls give the Pledge of Allegiance with Conrad additions, which is I'm not going to talk about that. Nah. There is so much squealing. I would simply go deaf. I am now deaf. Is my note progression.
Amazing.
All right, the mayor gives Conrad the key to the city. He welcomes him to Sweet Apple, and all the girls are like, "We don't care about the key. We want him to sing."
And so he starts.
Conrad's like, "Yes, I will."
Yes, and so he starts the song "Honestly Sincere," and everyone is so overcome by his thrusting hips,
his raw sexual energy.
Of a tomato. And
no, but here's the thing. Within the given circumstances, that is what everyone is overwhelmed by.
And everyone lost their goddamn mind over Elvis.
No, they lose their
so
goddamn
it's if you kind of think of it as sort of the
and
phenomenon
it's an homage
that was
to
Elvis, in terms of his dancing style and how that was so hypersexualized of
provocative.
The era. Yeah. Now there is a
just wiggling.
Everyone eventually faints. And it starts with the mayor's wife who faints. And the mayor's like, "What have you done to her?" And then it's It's so funny.
What witchcraft
is this? And so he does a whole song walking through the town square, and the song ends and it looks like he's expecting applause, but the camera pans back and literally every single person has fainted. And I'm like, man, if this is what he's taken to the army, I think the army's gonna do just fine.
It's so funny.
God,
they
it's
just
so
pan
weird.
out, and they pan out wide.
Yeah,
there
it's
are
a
probably
wide shot.
100 extras
just
lying on the ground
fainted.
having swooned.
Yes, fully swooned. Now, no, my question was, did he somehow vocally roofie them? What is going on?
This is the power of that gold lame jumpsuit.
Truly.
Okay, cut to the McAfee house.
Yes.
We see Conrad Birdie superfans literally camped out on their front lawn with tents because Conrad Birdie is staying with them. He's staying at the McAfee house.
That's weird.
I didn't question it.
I didn't understand.
It was just a thing. How big this house is, I cannot determine.
No one knows.
But just then, down the street comes barreling the father in his car.
Harry.
He's running late. He has missed dinner, and he is furious.
So furious.
He gets home. He screams at all the girls that are camped out, and his wife comes out. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" The neighbors will hear you. He goes, "I don't care who hears me." And he's just like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah.
And that ragamuffin is not staying in our house any longer.
No. So apparently it is revealed that the dad, Harry, has been sort of pressured by other, people high up in the town,
other prominent members of the
That's
community,
a good way of saying it.
Vocal and influential members of the community have been like,
Let's not do this
ne'er-do-well
out of our town.
out of our town. Very Footloose vibes.
Yes. And so he's like, I'm not gonna let my daughter do this. This is another moment of I'm the man of the house energy. And but apparently Rosie and Albert are also staying in this house. Unclear.
Yeah, it seems like there's the main house and there's also an attached guest house.
Maybe.
But also
Kim stays in the guest house?
Kim's, yeah, or because like Rosie's staying in Kim's room, but it's connected by a terrace. I have no idea how this house is
I would love
laid
to
out.
See an architectural
blueprint
of
floor
this
plan,
house.
Anything.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're also staying there, and Albert and Rosie hear him start like saying, I don't want this to be done. I'm not going to let my daughter participate in this. I want him out of my house. And but Albert is just like, this is my livelihood. And so he kind of Rosie actually kind of placates them by saying, listen, I understand we're not even showbiz people. Albert here is like a biochemist, and don't worry, you can trust us. And the whole family, not just Rosie, the whole family is going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, she lies and has not run that by Albert.
Nope.
And that placates the dad. He gets stars in his eyes. And he goes, me.
Loves Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, he loves Ed Sullivan. A little bit about the dad. He runs a fertilizer company.
Yes.
And in this moment, one of the things that... Okay. One of the reasons the dad wants Birdie out of the house is at that meeting that he had with those influential people, several of them are customers of his. And they essentially say, if you don't get this Birdie ne'er-do-well out of our town, out of your house, we're not going to do business with you. Like, they're going to essentially run his business into the ground.
Right.
So that's definitely a little bit of pressure. At one point, the dad's at home in the scene. He tries to light his pipe, and he accidentally sets off a small explosion because Randolph, the son's chemicals are lying around, and that's what brings Rosie and Albert down. They're like, oh, we heard an explosion. We definitely weren't eavesdropping.
No.
Mr. McAfee tries to back out of the deal, but Albert steers the conversation away with Rosie's help towards chemistry.
Right.
And he gets an idea, and he starts talking to the McAfees about, well, you know, I wasn't always a songwriter. I was a biochemist, and I actually was working on this compound that is like a supplement for animals that increases their output. Yeah, it's essentially speed for animals. Yeah. And it, for example, like a hen laying 3 eggs a day, and you see dollar signs in Mr. McAfee's eyes. He goes, oh, wow, that would be really interesting. I work for a fertilizer company. That would be super, super good for us. Yeah. They test it out on the family. Albert tortoise? Makes the compound there, and he tests it out on the tortoise. And while they're waiting for it to, kick in, maybe, that's when Rosie's like, and you know what? We'll get the whole family on the show. Yeah. It'll be a whole thing. And then we get him for a Sunday evening. Oh, I think it's my favorite stupid song.
God, it's so dumb.
Because it's so weird. It's essentially a one setup shot with the family all in choir robes singing a song to Ed Sullivan. The acting choices are weird. There's a lot of direct into camera. The dad's absolutely terrifying.
Oh, yes. The father's consistently terrifying in every scene. I don't know how to describe this, really, except for it's just they're so overjoyed at the concept of being on this show that they sing a hymn about it.
But you have to think about the time where there was truly a familial institution that every night you sat down with your family and you watched the news. You watched the Ed Sullivan Show because
that was the only thing
that was on. You couldn't go to it's the only thing that was on.
Yeah.
And we didn't have access to the movies that we have at the movie theaters now.
Yeah.
You turned to these serialized talk shows for entertainment.
Yeah.
So it was much more of a fixture of the daily life. And because you watch it every day, you feel an attachment.
Absolutely.
At the table. You feel an attachment to this person, even though you've never seen them in person. So the song ends. After the song, the mayor calls up on the phone and sounds mad. And sounds exactly how the father sounded when he first came in. I'm getting all this pressure. We got to get Conrad out of town.
Yeah.
And Mr. McAfee instead goes rogue.
Yeah.
And is like, no. We're going to keep him. He's going to stay. And guess what? I'm going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show. And guess what? You can be too.
Right.
And that placates the mayor. The mayor's going to get to give a speech. The mayor's like, Ed Sullivan?
Wow.
Me?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. And then, of course, Rosie and Albert hear this, and they're like, Oh no.
We've bitten off more than we can chew.
Exactly.
But the mayor is placated, and at that moment, the speed kicks in for the tortoise.
Yeah.
And the tortoise
Zooms.
races out the door, like yeets itself out the door. And they're like, all right, cool, it works on it.
That's good to know. Then we get
Hugo and Ursula arrive.
Oh, yes. Hugo and Ursula come by, and Hugo
Just
is
a
just like,
revolving door.
yeah, honestly. Hugo turns to the dad and is just like, oh, I'm so glad that you're not letting Kim do this.
Ick.
And,
Ick.
yep, big
Hated
ick.
that.
And Ursula is just like, what the fuck do you mean? You're like, you can't stop. This is an opportunity. And so, but the
This
dad,
is for America.
This is for America. But then the dad, who's now changed his mind because he's going on Ed Sullivan, is just like, what do you mean? She can make her own choices, and I am allowing her to make the choice to do this. And I'm just like, fucking A. Ugh.
Hugo starts to make a fuss.
Yeah.
But then Kim comes downstairs and calls him on his bullshit.
Yes, absolutely. And they end up going outside, and she kind of reassures him that he's the only one for her. There's the song One Boy. And this finally feels like some legitimate singing, this song. It has big 16 going on 17 vibes. They're even in a gazebo.
We are. There's always a gazebo.
There's always a gazebo. So it's big 16 going on 17 vibes, except for reversed, in which Kim is the one who's just like, let's calm down. I do love you. You're the only one for me.
And Hugo actually has a decently nice voice.
He does. I enjoyed this duet between the two of them.
And then Kim kisses him, and he is blown away. And then she the next couple lines of hers are like very like back of the throat, and like a little husky. And I'm like, ma'am, you are 16.
So they finish their song. Rosie has watched this whole thing because there's like an upper terrace balcony thing.
I don't understand the layout of this house.
So she's watched this whole thing, and she's feeling really sort of unappreciated by Albert.
Yeah. Rightfully so. Justice for Rosie.
And
we get a reprise. We get a reprise of One Boy, and it becomes a duet between Rosie and Kim, not singing to each other, but both singing the song about their boys. Right. I will say, Rosie and Albert are supposed to be about the same age, which are like around the same time. And we're saying Albert's like
35.
I don't know, mid-30s. Yeah. Rosie's probably early 30s. And as someone who is about to be 30, I don't know the last time I looked at a 16-year-old's relationship and was like, yeah,
that's what I need.
That. But you know what I mean?
I do.
Just like, that's what I'm missing. All right, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, I think this is where Conrad comes down and is like, is storing his motorcycle in the living room and just like opens a beer and it sprays all over their carpet, and he's just like, what even is this place?
He's a rude house
He's just
guest.
really awful.
We also see Albert calling a local drive. He's like lost his mother. His mother is missing.
Gone.
And they're like, she can't go far, sweet apple small.
Yeah.
Then Albert sees, having gotten off the phone, Albert sees Rosie sitting outside and goes out to sit with her. Yes. And he's like, oh, don't be worried that Mom is missing. And she's like,
That's not in fact, I'm pleased that she's not here. Like,
yes.
I hope she's never found.
And then I just hope she's found at the bottom of a ditch.
Truly.
And Albert fully misreads the situation and sings the song, Put On a Happy Face.
And it's so
Rosie.
Fucking patronizing.
Oh.
It's so funny because I love Dick Van Dyke, and it's because, as previously stated, I grew up with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I love him in that movie. I hated his character here.
Yeah, his character sucks.
His character sucks. Rosie should have left him.
Right?
Yeah, so he tells her to put on a happy face, and then we get weird animation.
Ghost. Oh god, the animation. We get, again, they're like, hey, look what we can do now.
Yeah.
And we see Albert essentially draw in thin air a smiley face, and it kind of mocks us the entire rest of this song.
Yes.
But you know what's even weirder to me?
The ghost?
The ghost dance.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rosie naturally is not having
No.
it. She's just like, I don't want
It's
to
a
be
song
happy right
of
now.
a man telling you to smile. This song is a man telling you to smile. And you know what? No.
Yeah. And Rosie naturally refuses to dance with Albert. And like, listen, I'll dance with Dick Van Dyke, but Albert's being a dick and I don't want to dance with Albert. So Albert creates a ghost version of Rosie, essentially.
to dance
and
with
has
him.
her dance with him and be like, oh, I'll get this version of Rosie will dance with me.
Yeah.
And Rosie can see this ghost. The ghost is pink.
It's so weird.
And follows them around as they dance. And, like, we get dancing.
Yeah.
It's weird context for the dancing, but we get dancing.
We do get dancing, and we get more dancing later. But, like, and it's fine dancing, it's fun and whatever, but the concept is so weird of, like, Rosie watching herself, an idealized version of herself.
Watching a man's version of herself.
Dance.
And
be happy when she's not. It's
when she's not, and her feelings
gross.
aren't being validated.
It's gross.
It's ick.
Yeah.
It's campy. It's campy. It's satire. It's from 63.
Okay. So
Shaky sweaters.
eventually
Shaky sweaters.
she finds this charming because it's the 60s and a man wrote
she
this.
acquiesces.
And she, the actual person, not the ghost person, dances with Albert.
Yeah, she like merges with the ghost.
God. And it ends, and just when they're like sitting together and they're like cuddled and I think they're about to kiss, and then suddenly who should appear but Mama.
The turtle?
Oh, the turtle! I forgot about the turtle! Oh, God.
Both. The
appear.
turtle reappears and zooms by, but it's Mama that really ruins the moment.
Yeah.
They're about to kiss, and then we hear Albert!
It's like, Mama!
In the distance. Mama!
And Rosie is back to being furious.
Back to square
Justice
one.
for Rosie.
Oh my god. Albert's mother really drove me up a wall in this scene. I didn't find her funny, I just found her
No.
really fucking annoying.
Yeah, well, because, so every time that Albert seems like he wants to do something on his own, she pretends like she's gonna die from the news and guilt trips him into doing what she wants. So it's like, whenever he tells her, I don't want to be a songwriter anymore, she like looks up and calls to Lou, her dead husband. He's just like, Lou, I'm a-coming. Start dealing the cards. I'll be there soon. Like, this news is
She
gonna
puts her
kill
head in the oven.
She puts her head in the oven. And but the dad is just like, it's electric.
It's electric. That's a dark reference for a rated G.
That's a dark joke.
That's a dark joke. Oh god. Mama makes a fuss about Albert wanting to quit show business. Kim comes downstairs and surprise has dyed her hair blonde for reasons unknown other than like
do a thing.
I don't know, to do its thing, and the father takes it as a personal affront, and we get the song Kids, which again fully forgot this was in the show, and it's a duet between the dad and Albert's mom.
Yes.
Which is essentially like kids these days. And I'm sorry, Albert's a grown man.
Albert is a grown-ass man. Yeah, and it ends with Albert's mom saying, oh, Albert, you'll always be there for me. Like, you'll never abandon me. And he was like, yeah, no, of course. And Rosie hears this and just like, fuck this guy.
Fuck this.
And so she calls that local English teacher that flirted with her and was just like, hey, turns out I am available this evening. Let me meet you somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
and she does that making direct eye contact with Albert, being like, yeah, tonight sounds good.
Yeah.
And then she leaves, and Mama stops Albert from going after Rosie.
Yep, because Mama's a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Cut to the next day.
Yes.
It's the high school. We're in the high school gymnasium, and we are rehearsing for Conrad Birdie's show that they're gonna live stream. Is that the word? Live
broadcast
stream to
live.
The Ed Sullivan Show broadcast live. Thank you.
Live stream.
So they're rehearsing one last kiss in the school gym. Rosie is sitting there with the English teacher that she went on a date with last night and being like super loudly happy so that Albert hears.
I'm having a great
and Albert
time.
is unhappy. Yeah.
So they're rehearsing and they're doing the song and they're like, okay, hold on to the song, stop the song. Like, how are we going to do this? So she has to say her bit before. And like, Conrad just gets really fed up with all of the hemming and hawing of everything. He's like, so what's going to happen is I sing the song, I turn to camera, I kiss the girl, and he kisses Kim. And then I go about my day and I leave. And then he just leaves. Kim faints. She faints.
Shook it. She was not prepared
for that kiss to happen
do the kiss
right then. And
Conrad does not even notice and does not take it seriously. He's just like, yeah, this is the thing I do. And Kim fully faints. So overwhelmed.
And Hugo is furious because he's there as well.
Hugo's also, I feel like we haven't described, Conrad Birdie is probably like, I don't know, 6'1", and Hugo's maybe 5'5".
Yeah, he's like 5'8" at max on a
He's
good
like
day.
16-year-old pipsqueak.
Yeah. So they end up breaking up, though.
Yeah, Hugo loses his cool.
Yeah.
He yells at Birdie, and he says, Kim's not going to go forward with this anymore because she's risking Hugo's reputation. Yeah. And Kim's just like, fuck you. That. And she gives him back his pen.
Yeah, they break up.
She's like, we're done.
Now,
like, justice for Kim. Like, yeah. She's like, I don't want to be with someone who's going to, like, treat me like a piece of cattle.
Absolutely.
And control me.
Now, right at the end of this, Albert is told that the Russian ballet that was going to be the segment before this song,
that's also in Sweet Apple.
It's also in Sweet Apple, yeah. Has switched to a different dance that they'll be performing, which requires extra time, which means that they're eliminating Conrad. Now, okay, let's think about this. Ed Sullivan has the Russian ballet, which their audience that cares about them, I would say, is slightly less than if he had, like, in modern terms, Harry Styles doing a song.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I have to imagine it was, like, pressure of, like, Russian-American diplomatic
relations in the 1950s.
We can't piss off the Russians.
That's fair.
Guess what happens? They piss off the Russians.
So anyway, but that means that the song is gone. So is the kiss.
Yeah, they'll only have 30 seconds now for the whole thing. So they're just going to be like, hi, I'm Conrad Birdie.
Goodbye.
Join the army.
Yeah, exactly. So this has ruined
and Albert's
everything.
Devastated.
So Albert is like, I'm going to try and go talk to the Russian ballet director, see what they can do. And then we cut to like a dance hall?
Some kind of like social club for teenagers.
Yeah.
Dance hall, cafe. It's not a bar. No. We see Hugo arrive. Conrad Birdie's already inside, and just like this 30-year-old man is just like flirting up on all these teenage girls who are fawning over him because he's a superstar. Yeah. And he starts to sing the song "A Lot of Living to Do," which again forgot the song was in the film. And which is it's essentially just like I got
shit to do.
Life is short, and I'm gonna live it to the fullest. Birdie takes us across the dance floor with his backup dancers, and he walks behind and over to the side, and we zoom in on Kim, and we see Hugo about to come up to her. He like puts his hand on her shoulder as if to like placate, mansplain to her further, and she's like, no, fuck this. And she gets up and she starts singing at him, being like, hey, like refusing to talk to him, being like, I've got a lot of living to do, and I'm gonna flirt with lots of guys and like go on dates and like live my life without you, Hugo. Yes. She's tired of waiting for Hugo, who's a child. Yes. She's ready for men.
And her outfit is awesome. I loved her outfit. Yeah. This like hot pink.
Oh man. The hot pink hot pants.
Yeah, it was great.
I got major like deja vu to State Fair from her bit of this song to that really racy song that she did in State Fair.
Yeah. Now, and then Hugo has his own verse of A Lot of Living to Do, where he like drums.
And he steals but he also steals the crowd's attention from Kim, because Kim had like all the guys kind of flocking to her, and Hugo's like, drumming is gender inclusive, and everyone goes to
Amazing.
And then we have a dance off.
Yes, we do. Big old dance sequence.
A big dance sequence. And the meerkat hands are one thing, but Hugo can dance. And Margaret can dance. Yes. And I was really, really pleasantly surprised.
It was a good time. And honestly, it felt a little bit like Dance at the Gym.
I literally wrote big Dance at the Gym vibes. Yeah.
So they end up doing a whole thing. It's just a really long, fun dance number. And
Yeah. Thank God they cast a actor to play Hugo who can sing and dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I could have seen that being like a Bobby Darin thing. Like, Bobby Darin can sing, but when he was cast in State Fair, he, like, wasn't a good actor, and I don't think he can dance. Like, you know how sometimes they cast celebrities who can't do all the singing and dancing? Thank God.
Yeah, they did.
They cast this kid who played Hugo.
Yeah. So the song eventually ends.
And it ends on kind of a somber note in that it cuts to, like, the lights, like, go out dramatically in the social thing. And then they come back up, and Kim realizes that Hugo's gone. Yeah. And so has Birdie.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of left alone with the outcome of her actions.
Yeah, exactly. We cut to Albert trying to convince
the Russian
this Russian ballet manager to shorten the performance, and it does not go well. The guy is like, it would be sacrilege to cut a single second. And it's just like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Then we cut to Rosie and Kim.
Yeah, Kim and Rosie have a scene. And this is where I was like, oh, are they staying in the same room? Because they're both unmarried women, maybe. But they kind of catch up on their day. Kim's already in bed. It's the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And Rosie tells her about the change of plans with the show and the Russian ballet. Yeah. So she's not going to get to kiss Conrad on TV. And Kim's like, well, at least you still have Albert. I've lost Hugo in all of this. And now I don't get to kiss Conrad, and I don't even have Hugo anymore. Yeah. Rosie essentially tells her, like, men aren't worth it.
Yeah, well, she was like, it turns out that English teacher that I went on a date with, he wants to elope with me. And it's not because he really, like, I'm more of like a representation because he wants to be a songwriter. And I'm trying to get Albert away from songwriting. I don't want to be with a songwriter because it's not, there's no security in that. And so she's just like a little bit fucking annoyed with men in general at that point.
Yeah, and she iterates that, like, men are only out to use women. And then this is the moment where they both kind of are like, hey, are you a virgin? Oh, cool, I'm a virgin too. But they don't say virgin, they say we're both
good girl, which
I'm a good girl. Like. I'm a good girl too. And I was just like, ugh. But surprise, surprise, Rosie's getting changed. She's not getting ready for bed. And Kim's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Rosie's going to Maude's Cafe.
Madcap Cafe.
Which is a wild place.
It's like the danger zone of Sweet Apple, Ohio.
I was just like, Sweet Apple, Ohio has a den of sin, apparently. And this is Rosie's farewell to Sweet Apple.
So we get to Maude's, and we see Hugo getting thrown out because he's trying to order alcohol, and he's like, no, I'm 21, I promise.
He's just trying to drown his sorrows. And Albert also shows up, having had Kim's parents drive him there, because he also wants to drown his sorrows in alcohol. However, he can, because he is a 30-something-year-old man.
Yes, he is. So he goes in, and he ends up seeing his mother there playing canasta with the owner of this bar establishment,
Mr. Maude,
who is it is told to us quite clearly, also a widower. So
three times.
That's alarming.
Just then, Rosie comes in. She sees Albert talking to his mom, and she overhears Albert saying, Mama, we're getting on a bus back to New York City tonight. And Rosie's like, fuck this. So Rosie makes a scene. She goes to the bar. She loudly orders drinks to make sure Albert can hear her. She's like, three drinks, like extra dirty, like shots and etc. And then she's like, and where's the dancing? Why is no one dancing? Makes a whole scene. She orders 3 drinks. We see her chug one.
No, we don't see her chug one. And I thought that this was interesting because, of course, this was made in the 60s. We see her hand take a full glass, move it out of screen, and then put back that same glass empty. So it's implied,
Do you think
but we
don't couldn't
see.
For censorship?
Yeah.
Or for the G rating, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, in terms of that time. So I think that they had to heavily imply, but they could not show her actually physically drinking alcohol.
What's so funny is I saw that shot and I was like, that was a weird choice.
Yep.
Onwards. Yeah. I didn't think back. But Rosie sees a bunch of men going downstairs at the bar wearing...
Fezzes?
What are these red caps called? They're fezzes. Yeah. They're fezzes. So she's like, ooh, there's a party downstairs. I'm going to go down there. And Albert's like, absolutely not. I'm not letting you go down alone into a basement full of men. And he goes after her.
Of course. Now, this is a Shriners convention. So
I have this up. Oh, I don't anymore.
It's like Mason, like the Freemasons.
Okay, Shriners International is an American Masonic society established in 1870. It describes itself as a fraternity based on first thing, fun, fellowship, and the Masonic principles of brotherly love, relief, and truth.
Yeah.
Unclear why.
Yeah.
This whole scene is how I feel like that, unclear of why.
Yeah.
But essentially, Rosie goes down into the basement and stumbles upon, it's like a super lame community meeting.
Yeah.
They're like recounting the minutes and
Of the
talking
last
about like the
meeting.
fundraising
Boring.
they'll do. Yeah. And I didn't like this
No, I
scene.
didn't either. She causes a whole scene and they end up all dancing together and the men kind of go wild and Dick Van Dyke ends up rescuing her. And that's the end.
Yeah, thank you. That's literally all we needed. What a pointless scene is what I wrote.
Long.
There was a lot of great ensemble acting in
Yes.
it, though.
There's a lot of facial expressions that are insane. So,
Cut to the next day.
Yes.
It's the day of the show,
it is
y'all.
the day of the show, y'all. Rosie ends up coming up with an idea of how to get this song back on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes. However, really, really quickly, the only other thing is that Rosie and Albert are back together.
Yes.
After last
Now that
night.
he has saved her, whatever.
Yeah, now that he's saved her, and he's like, we're gonna elope to Niagara Falls.
Oh, right, there's the whole, they
Like,
were in their PJs thing. Yeah.
he's like, we're actually gonna do
Yeah.
it. We're gonna elope to Niagara Falls. And what's the Niagara Falls? Like, why?
That was a thing for a while
Why?
where you could elope in Niagara Falls, and it's kind of like the Vegas of the era, where it was just like really easy,
Okay.
fast, quick weddings.
I think you're right. But Rosie gets an idea because they reference the turtles.
Yes.
Cut to the show, and the broadcast is taking place at an outdoor amphitheater. We see the McAfees getting to their seats.
And the McAfees don't know why they're there. They're like, you know,
They're like, Albert told us to come. I don't want to be here if like we don't get to be on stage,
Yeah.
etc. But they
show up anyway.
sit. They got good seats. Cut to backstage. We see Rosie and Albert. Rosie is in the dressing room of the conductor of the orchestra that is accompanying the Russian ballet.
Yes.
He's also Russian.
Yes.
It's a Russian orchestra. And she's pretending, masquerading to be a local
Reporter, yeah.
news journalist and photographer. And she's like interviewing him because she's like schmoozing him up about, oh, it's such a big deal that like
That you're
this
here.
famous Russian
Yeah.
conductor
in
is here.
Sweet Apple, Ohio. Yeah.
And she's going to take his picture for the paper, but she's like, hey, will you take this picture drinking this glass of milk? And he's like, absolutely
No,
not.
I drink
vodka
vodka
only. I am a good Russian. And she's like, okay, the president's telling us to drink more milk, and it'll be a really good sign of like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like our like
Working
well, not
together.
companionship, our working together, our alliance
Yeah.
or whatever, like smoothing relations.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, that's
Fuck it.
weird, fine.
Americans, weird.
And she makes him chug
Yeah.
this glass of milk. Spoiler alert, the
It has been
speed
drugged.
compound has been drugged. She's roofied this Russian conductor
So,
with a glass of milk. That's never a sentence I thought I was going to ever say. But, and she's like, great, got the photo, goodbye,
Goodbye.
after he finishes the drink.
and so they go out and the Russian ballet starts and it's so slow and it's just like a lot of
we got a harp.
We can take in a harp. I
There's a
heard the
harp
harp,
in
but we
here.
don't see the harp, so I couldn't ask you.
I saw the harp. It was very, very
Yeah.
quick.
They're watching this performance and it's proceeding per normal, and they're like, "Damn
Yeah.
it doesn't work on
Rosie and
humans."
Albert are watching. They, being Rosie and Albert, who are standing backstage watching this.
Yes.
And they're like, fuck, it's not working.
Oh, maybe it only works on animals. It's not working on humans. Little do they forget, humans are animals. And eventually, we just like see the conductor's pupils like dilate. And suddenly it starts speeding up. Now, what they do to show the fact that now the orchestra's going fast and the dancers have to go equally as fast to catch up is that they filmed something normal speed and then they just sped up.
Sped it up. They just sped it up. It's so
funny. And like, you know, people are being dropped. They're just like running around, not like balletically. They're just like,
can't
fuck, I
keep
missed my
up.
cue. Like,
I think it would have been so fun
Yeah.
to shoot that.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
those ballet dancers,
Um,
just to get to like fuck around.
yeah, it was so funny. And in fact, this moment inspired me and reminded me of the homework that I'm going to throw in, which is Jerome Robbins's Mistake Waltz. So it's basically the ballet of mistakes. It's only like
I
3
love
minutes
that
long,
one.
but it's so funny. And it kind of had similar energy as this, where it was just oh man, I keep fucking this up, but I gotta keep going because the music's still going.
Yeah, and the audience starts
they think
laughing.
It's hilarious. The Russians are not pleased.
No, we see like Russian producers being like, what the fuck is this? But we then see, we go backstage and we hear the American producers being like, they're going too fast. We're going to need filler time. Go get Birdie.
On.
Like, let's put the Birdie spots back on.
And so Rosie goes out into the crowd. She grabs Kim and the family because she promised the whole family. And so they are pulled on, and then once the Russian ballet sped up version finishes, they push everyone on stage. So now we're doing
they do the fastest set change
truly
I've ever
for something
seen.
that they were not prepped for. Very impressive. So we get this, Kim is trying to give her speech that she was required to give, and her dad keeps interrupting and like moving his face into the camera, and it's just like, my fertilizer company is
and Conrad's there, he starts singing, and because they didn't ever like really get to finish rehearsing this, it's a little unclear what's supposed to be happening, but Conrad's like kind of like shimmying up onto Kim, and I thought she was just supposed to like come out, have the kiss, and then leave, but she's like stuck on stage because they threw this together at the last minute. She definitely feels stuck and uncomfortable. And he just keeps kind of coming up on her, at which point Hugo, having been in the audience, knight in shining armor, jumps a barricade, runs up on stage.
Jumps the barricade!
Like, jumps the barricade at the end of the day. Goes up on stage, gets Conrad's attention, and sucker punches him.
And I was like, is there no security?
Punches him.
There's a big old punch.
I mean, to be fair, if you look at Hugo, you're like, that's not a threat. But
yeah.
But Rosie and Albert see this and just fully faint. They're like,
oh no, there's a lot of fainting in this.
Yeah. There is. A lot of swooning.
Yeah. So that's the end of the broadcast. Later that night.
Yeah.
Albert and Rosie are there, and they're like,
they're still at the concert hall. It's now empty, and they're like, well,
the song didn't work out, but the speed is now proved that it can work in humans as well as animals. So this is gonna be our big ticket moneymaker. And just then, Albert's mom comes in and reveals that she has eloped with Mr. Maude, the cafe owner, who has had 3 wives die.
First, Mama arrives, and Albert comes clean to Mama about him and Rosie being together, and they like nervously wait for her to say something, and she goes, "Oh well, it's about time." And they're like, "What?" And then it is revealed she was like, "Oh, I have some good news as well. I'm
married too.
Would like you to meet your new stepfather." And they're like, "Oh, that's great. When's the wedding?" And they're like, "Oh no, we just got married. We're gonna."
No, it's now. It would happen.
Yeah, and they're like, "We're leaving to go to like Tucson or something," and they leave. They fully dip. So Albert and Rosie are alone again. They're like, okay, we can be together now.
Now there had been a bit in which Albert had been trying to write a song for Rosie, but had only ever gotten a few lines in and had never like finished the song. And so this is where this next song originates that we just haven't discussed. Because
they sit down. He sits down at a piano. And they sing the song together, like the 8 bars that he wrote. And then he starts singing again, and he finishes the song for her.
Rosie.
And then he gets up, and they dance around this empty stage. Yeah. And it's a nice moment. And we see Kim and Hugo, and they get a verse together about them being together forever and finding each other. Yeah. And
then we get...
That's the end of the film, except for the finale, which is the reprise of the Bye Bye Birdie song. But now it's like Kim being like, "Fuck off, Birdie, I never want to see you again."
And it's like, the army has you now. And I was like, that's kind of ominous.
Yeah. Goodbye forever.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the movie.
That's Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah.
My face hurts, which is always a good sign, because I've been smiling.
Yeah. So, Anna...
I didn't hate it. Listen, I've watched some of these films and I was like, hated that.
Yep.
I thought this was weird, but campy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's struggles of being made in the era that it was.
It's hard to relate to films that were made as satires of the time when they are older films.
Yes,
it was definitely a satire of the 50s.
Yeah.
But because we don't live in this, we have not lived through the 50s. We were not in this, we were not alive in the 60s. It's hard to relate to it. And I'm sure there's stuff that fell flat for us that probably wouldn't have fallen flat for modern audiences.
Yeah. Contemporary audiences. Yeah. So should we do some dramaturgy?
All right. Let's do a little dramaturgy report. All right. This is a rough and dirty dramaturgy because I had no time.
Same.
This was directed by George Sidney, whom I don't think we've seen yet, but we will see it coming up. He was an American film director and producer. He worked primarily with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. He's known for Bye Bye Birdie and Viva Las Vegas from the following year. He has a big acting background as well as stage directing and film editing and music. So he did a lot of big budget musicals, such as, we will see, Annie Get Your Gun.
Yeah.
He did the 51. Oh, fuck me. He did Kiss Me Kate. we have seen him. And he did Showboat, but is this our Showboat?
The 38 one?
Oh, fuck. No, he did the Showboat from...
Or 34?
51.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done.
No, we did the early one. We did the first
one. All right, cool. So we've seen his Kiss Me Kate. Funny how we've referenced it multiple times. As well as Pal Joey in 57.
Similar energy in terms of like a campy version of a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a founding partner of Hanna-Barbera Animation Studio. And he's one of the people credited with introducing the integration of animation into live action, which we saw with the smiley face. But most famously, he is credited with the dance scene in Anchors Away with Gene Kelly and Jerry Mouse.
Oh, okay.
And that was 1945.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost 10 years prior to this.
Yeah.
So, like, big deal. The cinematographer was Joseph Francis Birack, whom we haven't seen yet, but he was an American cinematographer. He worked at RKO Pictures movie studio. He also served in the Army in the Signal Corps. He was an Army photographer and filmed the liberation of Paris in 1944. He freelanced with a bunch of studios after the war. He's known for It's a Wonderful Life. That's one of the big ones. Flight of the Phoenix in 65. He didn't do a lot of musicals. He actually did a lot of TV, like The Adventures of Superman and Wonder Woman. And he won an Academy Award for cinematography for The Towering Inferno in 74.
Wow, okay. The writer, the screenwriter for this was Irving S. Brecker. We have seen him before because he wrote the screenplay of Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, so we just saw him.
Exactly.
Or heard his work.
Exactly. He was also one of the numerous uncredited writers on Wizard of Oz.
Oh, right.
Oh, right. Now, this was originally a stage musical, so the producer, Edward Padula, had the idea for a musical initially titled Let's Go Steady.
Just like, what is that line from Taming the
Padua?
Shrews? Like, I come to wife it wealthily in Padua.
Yeah, exactly.
If not wealthy than happily in Padua or something like that.
Exactly.
Very, very similar. Anyway, as you were.
So the original musical was going to be titled Let's Go Steady, a quote-unquote happy teenage musical with a difference. So he contracted the two writers, Charles Strouse and Leigh Adams, who wrote the music and lyrics for this, and their music and lyrics were heard in this version as well. However, he didn't like the book that was written for this, and so he fired the writers. The first draft apparently focused on a couple thinking of divorce whose children persuade them to stay together, which was eventually taken by Disney and rewritten into The Parent Trap.
I was gonna say, is that The Parent Trap?
Yeah. Now, so he eventually wanted something more, and in September 1957, Elvis Presley was drafted, and so they took this as their idea for
they just
everything.
ripped
They
it
just
off.
stole, because there was a media
Stole.
circus around him leaving
Yeah.
that included Elvis giving a specifically selected member of the Women's Army Corps, quote unquote, one last kiss. So they literally just ripped this from the headlines. Originally, the name of the singer was like Ellsworth, which was stupid.
Yeah.
And then it was changed to Conway Twitty, but then they found out that there was already someone named Conway Twitty. Poor man.
I'm
And he
sorry for
threatened to
Conway
sue-
Twitty.
threatened to sue them, and so finally they got to Conrad Birdie. Now, originally they did want
Much
to.
better name.
They were thinking about trying to cast Elvis as Conrad Birdie, but then they were like, I don't know, I think that's too much, and so they pulled back from that concept. Now, we already mentioned one rather significant change in
Plot change. Yeah.
Now, in the original stage musical, May, Albert's mom, is a lot more overt in the reasoning why she doesn't want Albert to marry Rosie, and it is because Rosie in the play is very specifically of Latina descent. And so there's a lot more, while I felt like
Racist.
yeah, there's a lot more racist overtones in the stage play, whereas I felt in this it was an undertone, if that makes sense.
They also changed Rosie's last name.
Yes, they did.
In the play, her name is Rosie Alvarez, and in this
It's DeLeon.
film, it's Rosie DeLeon.
Yeah. And of course the actress who played Rosie was Janet Leigh, who is not Hispanic.
She's not Latina, yeah.
Originally, Albert was also not a chemist. He was an aspiring English teacher. And so there was no thing about the speed or the drugging of the Russian ballet. The ballet was not a part of it at all. The performance of the One Last Kiss was actually the end of Act 1, and then there was a whole secondary act because Hugo still comes up and punches Birdie, but then they're like, fuck, we have to refilm this. We can't air our Conrad getting punched in the face by this guy. And so the whole second act was them being like, okay, do we refilm this, and like, what do we do? And then the whole end, Conrad goes out, and so the Got a Lot of Living to Do is in Act 2, and it's post this punch, and he like goes out to a club with a bunch of 16-year-old girls, and then later on he's arrested for whatever happens, and it's kind of implied that something happens to Kim. But yeah, so but it ends with
really
him,
surprising.
yeah, it ends with him like almost getting arrested, and Albert helps disguise him as a woman so that he can leave town and go report to the army. Like, it's really kind of fucked up.
I really
the
don't
entirety
like
of
that.
Act 2 is not great, at least from my research. Now, I have not read or seen Act 2, so maybe I am missing something. Maybe that's an implied thing that's not. I don't know how it's presented, but that is from what I've read. That's what Act 2 is.
So Bye Bye Birdie is frequently done in high schools. Like, there's a Bye Bye Birdie Junior. So I want to know what the differences are in the junior production.
Yeah.
Based on if the plot is more similar to the film,
Yeah.
or if the plot is more similar to the original stage production, and in which,
And then they
in
just,
what ways,
like,
how.
like erase some shit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, so those are the main differences. Now, in terms of actors, I decided that I was going to focus on Janet Leigh, who is a remarkably famous, incredible actress. So she was an actress, singer, dancer, author. Her career spanned like 5 decades. She was discovered at 18 by actress Norma Shearer, who helped her secure a contract with MGM. So she originally appeared in radio programs, and her first debut in film was The Romance of Rosie Ridge in 1947. She was known really for being able to span several genres. So she was in like crime drama, like Act of Violence. She was in Little Women, the original 1949 one.
Oh,
She was in the 1951 Angels in the Outfield. She was in a Western drama, and she was in Safari. She was in like the film noir Touch of Evil, romantic comedies, musicals like this one. So honestly, it was like she could do anything that she wanted to do. Now, her most iconic role was Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Now, this was released in 1960. She was reportedly so traumatized by filming her character's shower murder scene that she actively avoided showers as much as she could for the rest of her life and just kind of did baths. Now, this movie was released in June 1960. It was a major critical and commercial success. She got a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress and was nominated for an Academy Award. And this kind of became her career-defining role. She later commented, "I've been in a great many films, but I suppose if an actor can be remembered for one role, then they're very fortunate. And in that sense, I am very fortunate." Her character's death early in the film has been noted as an historically relevant by film scholars.
Death?
Because it... Yeah, because it violated narrative conventions of the time. So it's like the first half... Have you seen Psycho?
Parts?
Okay, because the first half follows this woman, played by Janet, and she dies, 45 minutes in, and then the entire second half is not what you think. And it's kind of like, I would say, current horror. Like, there's a lot of current horrors that will do that start one way and you think you know what's going on, and then halfway through it's just like hard shift, what is happening. And that was kind of the first time that happened, where someone who you thought was the main character died halfway through, and then you're like, oh no, this is not what I thought this was. Anyway,
and you're just holding on for dear life for the rest of the film.
Exactly. She also was on Broadway. She made her Broadway debut in 1975 in a production of Murder Among Friends.
Yes, Janet.
Yeah. In addition to her work as an actress, she wrote 4 books between 1984 and 2002, 2 of which were novels. She was married quite a few times, but her most famous marriage was to Tony Curtis in 1951, though they ended up divorcing almost 10 years later. And she is also the mother of Jamie Lee Curtis. Leigh was awarded an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree at the University of Pacific in California, where she had gone to college. At that time, that was in May of 2004, and she was really struggling with vasculitis, which she ended up passing from actually a few months later in October 2004. In October 13th, 2006, Jamie Lee Curtis and her sister Kelly Curtis unveiled a bronze plaque of their mother to honor her early life in Stockton, California. The memorial is located in downtown Stockton Plaza, adjacent to the city center, and it has since been renamed Janet Leigh Plaza. So she had quite a long, very significant career and was remarkable in terms of genre, crossing, which is very cool.
Yeah, you don't see that super often. Especially as women would be especially women actresses of this time would really
we're sort of stuck into one genre, and she really did everything.
Cool. So I've got not a lot for reviews and reception. This was a big hit. Yeah. This is just like a soundbite. Bye Birdie is a poppy satire on pop music. Silly, light, and very, very pink. It grossed just over $200,000 its opening week at Radio City Music Hall, which was a record at the time. It was the 13th highest grossing film of the year, grossing $13.1 million domestically and $6 million in rentals. Yeah. You want to do talk about some singing and dancing?
Yeah, and I've kind of talked a little bit about this.
Yeah, we've touched on
it. The singing felt like yelling on pitch for a lot of it. There were a few songs that didn't. So Dick Van Dyke's song Put on a Happy Face obviously did not. The 16 going on 17, One Boy did not. But every time that there was a chorus singing, it was like they couldn't find the time to teach the chorus how to sing harmonies, and so they're just like, just yell it, you'll be fine.
And it happened so frequently, and I was like, was this a choice? Yeah. I thought the singing was fine. I think we know Anne Margaret's a good singer. I don't personally like the way she was asked to do the opening and closing song, but as we've discussed, that might have been a stylistic choice of the time. Yeah. I just wanted more Dick Van Dyke singing.
I wanted him to be better.
Less of his character. Yeah, I wanted his character to be better. Yeah. in terms of dancing, we got dancing.
Yes, we did.
I was actually really, really pleased by that.
I was really pleased with the Got a Lot of Living to Do dance sequence because not only
really
was it
one.
fun dancing, it also felt like it was emotionally motivated by this argument and this fight that these characters were having.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just fun like dancing, it also had a point, which
it had purpose
is what I
behind
love.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, agreed. Do you have gripes and giggles?
My gripe is that
Conrad Birdie's super, super old?
It's about Conrad. That one I don't like. But he's not a good singer. None of his songs are good. And if he's supposed to be Elvis or like some approximation of that, Elvis was a good singer. And whoever they got or whatever songs or however they had him sing, I don't know if like who was at fault for this, but Conrad Birdie's songs, at least how this actor performed them or was directed to perform them, is not a good singer.
Yeah, agreed.
And that was really frustrating. Well, and he was too old. Yeah. It was very frustrating to me because it was just like, if he's supposed to be this incredible performer, I didn't see it.
Yeah. I didn't get like any kind of like star power potential from him.
Nah. My giggle is always the angry fast Russian ballet. It was so funny.
Yeah. I wrote, but this is both a gripe and a giggle, which is that this plot is so dumb.
Yeah.
The conceit is so dumb.
So stupid. And the fact that it happened.
So that is both.
This whole thing happened.
I know.
Oh my god.
All right.
Do you have any fun facts?
Okay, so after they filmed and edited, the director was so impressed with Anne Margaret that he was like, hey, he went to the executives and he was like, hey, I think we should do this opening and closing thing. Like, that was never originally part of the film. The Bye Bye Birdie song was not incorporated in that way. And the producers were like, fuck no, that's going to cost a lot of money. We already have a film. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So the director rented a studio and crew at his own expense, asked the composer and lyricist to come up with this title song.
Oh, shit.
And he filmed Anne Margaret's version of it 6 months after they finished filming.
Wild.
And it ended up costing like $60,000.
Jesus.
And he got it back at the end of the film, and that opening sequence is credited with like making Anne Margaret like a sensation.
Yeah, a sensation. Wow. That's wild. I did not know that. My fun fact is our very silly tortoise. So,
tortoises. There were two.
There was, I think, one real tortoise which was shown earlier. But
there are two robot tortoises.
There are two robot turtles in an effort to show that that this compound or whatever that Albert had created would like make an animal go fast. There were two replicas of two replicas of desert tortoises that were built. One was powered by wet cell batteries and 4 speed gears that could reach speeds of 16.5 miles per hour. The other one was rigged to travel in water and be shot out of a fish pond by an air-compressed ram. It took 2 months to build, and it ended up costing like $4,500. Just so... I can't even... 16.5 miles per hour.
For like...
That is insane.
Miles.
And
for such small scenes, and I guess it's relevant to like the overall plot.
So stupid.
Stupid.
All right, Anna, do you have any homework?
I do. Aren't you proud of me? It's don't watch this film.
No.
Just watch Got a Lot of Living to Do. That's the one sequence I want people to, because I was so excited and pleasantly surprised that there was actually dancing with purpose and good dancing, that I was like, yeah, watch that.
Yeah. And then mine is the Jerome Robbins Ballet of Mistakes, because it has the same energy as the Fast Russian Ballet, and it's just a delight to watch.
I think that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
That's literally everything I have. If you are still with us,
woo!
Congrats. Thanks for sticking around.
High-fiving 1 million
angels. High-fiving a million angels. That is literally all she wrote. Thank you all for tuning into this very, very silly, campy episode that I enjoyed talking about. I enjoyed parts of this film, and I enjoyed all of talking about it. This has been 5678, a movie musical podcast. I have been Anna.
I'm still Grace.
And that's all she wrote. Take care of yourselves and others. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.